that take the stock out?
It does, yes. So we replace that.
So we'll uncouple, they'll pull the next service out.
And we'll sit in the loop and wait for our next train. Middle of the loop to allow the 73 to come and take our spot.
You've just treated me to a ride downhill from Wirksworth down to Duffield. I'm even more excited because we're going back up
the other way
back
soon.
uphill,
Yeah, exactly.
so we'll perhaps have some fun on the way back up and we'll get some real noise. Thank you, firstly.
Very welcome.
John, you are the owner of this locomotive, or one of the owners.
The owner.
Tell me how all that came about for you.
My uncle used to work for British Rail, actually not far from here, as you can tell from my accent.
Yeah.
Not from this neck of the woods, but he worked British Rail Derby for his entire working life. Went there as an apprentice and worked his way
in
up.
the Derby Works.
Yeah, and various other parts of British Rail. He used to work. Also used to come to the Wirksworth branch quite a lot for doing testing as well at various times. So kind of experience of 20s really was, or real experience in cabs and things was just watching what he did for a living basically. The bogies are on this one are to go under 016 in due course once I get around to dealing with that. So yeah. So this was, like I say, a bit of a spares loco, but it's running, so we'll just.
I actually saw you driving this at North Yorkshire Moors.
Yes.
I passed you. I was actually filming on the Highway.
I did see your cameras. And
yeah. I thought you had seen them, but and I didn't know who you were, but I thought you'd seen the cameras.
I think also we might have been in the 14, the one when you did we double head? Did you film a double header? I was in the 14 behind that day, so yeah.
Anyway, this is great today. We're starting up soon.
Yep.
Yeah. Before we do, I would love to know more about the cab layout, the levers, the dials.
Yeah.
Are you able to? Would you mind talking us through some of that, please, John?
Absolutely, no problem at all. There's the 20s are all a little bit because there was a variety of them. They were, they built 20 during the pilot batch, and it was all then mad rush to build more. And because they were so reliable and have lasted so long in service, quite a lot of them have got quite a lot of different variations on them. So DRS have had them, and Bartley have had them. They've got all sorts of different bits and pieces. Some of them have got long-range fuel tanks on the side now. There's different things for cab communication, acknowledgement. Some of them are fitted slow speed control. So this desk isn't exactly as it would have been when they were first built. As you can see the slow speed selectors across here, and you've also got well, nothing obvious, as an American friend of mine said. Nothing ever in this world is obvious. But as well as the normal speedo, you've got a slow speed speedo as well. So that was used for.
I have been wondering that on the first run. What was that
one for? So
yeah,
a lot of it is for. There's quite a lot of traffic on the railways where you need slow speed merry-go-round traffic, for example, for coal and the like, where you wanted to get a fixed speed for unloading, and that was ideal. That was effectively what most of them are fitted with.
So what have we got on the dash here then?
If we let's start right to left because that's easy. So
yes,
main reservoir is your main air reservoir. That's the pipe pressure. So these two gauges should be up all the time. Bogie brakes here. So we've got two different brakes here. We've got your loco brake. Yeah. Which applies air brakes on the loco only, and then you've got your train brake. Originally, when they were fitted, these were
when you use the train brake, because you're attached to a set of carriages, does that also apply the brakes on the locomotive as well at the same time?
There's a proportional brake on here, so when you see the vacuum being dropped, for example, this vacuum train, you'll also see the loco brakes coming on slowly as well. These were dual brakes, so they changed. British Rail and others changed to air brakes later on, so effectively you can select whether you want passenger and goods air,
Okay.
air and vacuum up there. Your brake pipe here is for your air system. That's your local brake pipe. So at the moment you can see we've got 55 psi on the air brakes on the loco itself.
Yes.
I've also got the handbrake handle, which is steering wheel behind us.
Yeah, don't try and
No,
fool
little
me.
kids
I
clear,
said I was
yeah,
a little
yeah,
bit
yeah.
naive with all these terms. Yeah.
But not quite that much.
No. Yeah.
Main speedo at the bottom here.
Yeah.
Which is the thing there, and then your amps gauge here, which tells you how much load you're getting from the generator.
So what will we do today, for instance? I mean, we're going uphill on the way back, so there'll be a lot more power.
It'll pull a bit over 1,000 amps, but you'll get that even with next to nothing on if you open up enough, because that initial acceleration, you're moving
Right.
70 odd tons of loco, even on its own. So if you've got, just to get it moving, it will pull a bit.
Okay.
Obviously, it's more consistent. DC generators, quite old technology on this, so what they do to deal, without going into too much technical stuff, to deal with back EMF from the generator, which would effectively restrict the power output, for layman's terms, you get various different field diverts that come in, so you'll hear a click every now and then, you'll see that wobble a little bit.
Right.
This is a little bit unusual because we've got a big bonnet and it's very much built like a steam engine, so when these things came out they were acceptable because drivers were used to driving things with big boilers.
You definitely need a second man on these,
Yeah,
don't you, when you're
absolutely,
driving in that direction?
Single car, single loco. In this day and age, there's no way they would accept these because the visibility is appalling. You can't see anything. But
They'd accept them in pairs, of course.
Yes.
Because
I mean, they were liked again. They were well liked in pairs because it more or less they'd always get you home even if you got one failure.
Yeah.
There were discussions with British Rail about classing them as a single loco. A lot of them ran in pairs. So
permanently pairing them up.
yeah,
perhaps.
but actually on the top system, having them named as a unit, a lot of them remained in the same pairs when they were operating.
I remember that. I lived at Kettering and we used to see the same pairs.
The same, and a couple
all
I
the time.
thought ran together
Yeah.
commonly. The thing that's interesting on this one for the horn is you've got obviously the direction you're going in.
Yeah.
You've also got this third position.
What's that then?
That allows you to operate the other horn at this end, so I can.
Ah,
And
right, okay.
It's also quite off-putting doing the horn on this one anyway because you've got to wait for the air to reach the horn. So whereas that one you pull it quite quickly, it'll go almost instantly. It's got a very long pipe to get to the other end of the.
Do you know? And I think it was. I'm really racking my brains from the early 80s, late 70s when I started spotting. Was this a Toten engine? Do you know?
Yeah.
So
I don't know the absolute ins and outs, but it was at Toten for quite a while.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
There was
not in orange though.
no the oranges. It's interesting. I found it quite offensive as a heritage colour. Not really offensive in a nasty way, but it's a very good branding colour for Harry Needle and Co.
Well, everybody knows which loco it is, don't they?
You can't miss it, can you? But it's actually grown on me. I don't mind it so much now. I've always been a pedant when it comes to sort of colours, but it's not too offensive.
I think it's a bit like this. When somebody sees your loco at a distance, they go, "Oh, there's 166."
Yeah.
If you're at a railway and there's 3 or 4 blue ones, right?
Yeah.
They all look pretty much the same.
Yeah, and I think that's the challenge now in a way. And the other thing that, having had a sort of 20-odd year sabbatical from preservation. When I left, lots of things were tatty looking. When I first came back, everything had to be immaculate. And these things were workhorses. They looked pretty for about a couple of days after they came out of the works, and that was it.
Tell me about the power handle.
So,
that is the most important part.
Thing here. I hear a local coming as well.
What does that do?
Basically, reverse a power handle. So we've got control key, which is pretty much standard to any local.
Okay.
Having one cab's convenient, so we're just put that into engine only. So we've got 4 positions.
Is that your start-up position, engine only?
Yeah. So we've got 4 positions here, off, which was doing nothing. We've already put the battery isolating switch in, so when we've moved that to engine only, you can hear the oil pump just in the background.
I can hear a pump.
Rattling away, and lights are doing what they're supposed to be doing. I want to be quick here. Forward and reverse. So once the engine's built up air and you're in a position to depart, you've got your handbrake off and everything's good to go, you can move whatever direction you want to go into. So do that reverse or forward.
Okay.
And once that's in that position, you can then.
Now, etched in the side of this top plate, we've got these numbers.
Which is unusual, yeah. Somebody's made this is not an original one. It goes 1 to 8, normally like 1 to 4.
They have an EE.
They normally, a little EE logo on the top of there.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
Yeah,
so, is this smooth or is this notched?
No, you can feel the first notch, but generally, other than that, it's reasonably smooth after that. You know where So basically, when you're putting the power off to avoid contact or tips, basically whatever's reading on here, when you shut this off,
Right.
That's what you're opening up.
Now, I know I'd get you in a lot of trouble, but I'm going to point something out. This is where I love to see the power handle. There.
We're going uphill this way, and we've got a few more
So we
coaches
will
on.
see a bit of that,
Yeah,
will
there'll
we?
be a little bit of that. So we came down with 3 coaches, we've got 5 going back, and it's uphill all the way back.
Okay,
So.
well that's
So
all really
we're-
interesting. So
we're good to
will
go.
we start up soon then?
Yes, I think now's the time to press the button, I think.
So where's the button then?
So we've got 3
me
buttons here.
Show us that.
Engine stop, engine start, wheel slip brake. So, and I've also got a sander pedal, which I've not mentioned down here.
Okay.
And the vital DSD, when that's in forward or reverse, if I don't put my foot on that, the brakes come on. That's
Okay, so engine start's the middle button.
Yeah, and if I
Wow, it shook, didn't
just
it?
like that, yeah, you can feel it.
Vibrates.
It's just the speed it has to get up to. It's not, there's nothing that spins like that's perfectly balanced when you've got pistons and things on it. So that initial, you'll notice on the E ones, because they've got more pistons, tend to not shake as much and generally will pick up a bit quicker. If you look at the likes of the Cromptons, like 6 LDAs for example, you'll often feel the loco roll a bit first before it just spins it round. And obviously, as you'll see this way, we've got much better visibility going back the way.
Yes.
Which is why they were coupled in pairs. A lot of them, because the power, a lot of the work they were designed for drifted away. The 14s we talked about earlier, their work, sort of short trip freight disappeared. This was that kind of crossover loco, but coupled together, you got a Type 4, and you got a Type 4 that if one engine failed, you'd probably still make it home, and they were incredibly reliable locos anyway. So.
John, thank you for all the work you put in to provide these for people to enjoy. Yeah, because without people like you and others that own locomotives, we wouldn't be able to enjoy them. So I just want to say thank you on behalf of everybody that perhaps watches my channel. But I do know there's a lot of drivers that watch my channel.
Me included. As we've discussed. It's nice. I mean, without that, we like the appreciation. It makes it worthwhile as well for days like this.
Now then, who's this young man?
Oh, the unfortunate pilot for today.
You enjoying yourself?
I am, yes, looking forward to the run back up the hill, to be honest.
Why are you looking forward to the run back up the hill?
Mainly because our delightful railway is downhill entirely from Wirksworth to Duffield.
There was a couple of sections.
There's 1 or 2 bits just coming out of stations, but the majority of the ruling gradient is downhill. So a Type 1 on load 5 going back up the hill is usually quite lively.
Can you tell everybody what your name is, please? Because everybody just knows you as nothing at the moment. Who are you?
I'm Jack. I'm Jack Marshall.
And you work at this railway?
I've been here since 2011.
Really?
Long time.
So you volunteer your time?
I do, yes, and I love every bit of it.
So thank you very much on behalf of everybody again, because if you don't volunteer, nobody else does.
No.
Do you need volunteers at Ecclesbourne?
Always. We always need more. We'd welcome some new volunteers in the diesel department, but any of our departments as well, POA stations, we're always looking for new blood.
Great. That's a good message to get out there. Thank you. was Hellfire.
Yeah, so I'll improve with that. It's almost as good as 14.
Hellfire moment in time. Another one.
Add to your collection.
Thank you, John.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Forget the market back the other way. It's the one you can definitely slap.
Yeah. It was a decision for all time. Yes. 3 cars a day. Of course, the bank regularly 10, 15 cars a day. procedure with a 5-set block crossing. Fantastic.
Safety going down.